Hi everyone and welcome back to National League Lowdown with me, Dan. As you can see, I'm joined as always by Craig. How are you, mate? You okay?
Yeah, very good, thank you, mate. Very good, thank you.
Good. We've got our friend Dave, Morecambe supporter, with us tonight under better circumstances compared to last time. How are you, mate?
Slightly, Dan, yeah, slightly. Very well, thanks. Better than last time we spoke, absolutely.
Yeah, good to have you with us, mate. Obviously, we're going to talk about Morecambe in more detail. And as you can see right next to me, we've got the return of the prodigal son. Mark is back. The hashtag no Mark, no party. Mark is back. How are you, mate? You okay?
Aloha, everybody. Yes, rather emphatic, but yes, a lot to cover.
Yeah, obviously it's been a few weeks. Yeah, it's been a few weeks, so we've got quite a lot to catch up on. So what we're going to do is we're going to give Mark 5 minutes now to talk about the things that he's missed, the things he wants to bring up. Mark, the floor is yours, mate.
Well, thank you. We got some unfortunate news to start off with. The unfortunate passing of Billy Vigor of Chichester City Football Club. He had a horrendous head injury during the game on Saturday. He was taken into a coma, and the news came a couple of hours ago that Billy has sadly passed away. Only 21, ex-Arsenal, but after we saw it last season with Alex Fletcher, he took a long time to recover. But now this is one acts too many, and I'm sure I can speak for us here and everybody on the deck when we're sending big love, big strength to Billy's family, friends, and everybody at Chichester City. They postponed their game on Saturday. Makes a lot of sense, but a very, very, very tragic story to begin with. But no, we send all the very best to Billy's family. Hopefully, that will be the end of it this season. We've just seen it too many times, and once is enough. Once is enough. Getting on to a lighter side, it was Chorley versus Mac on Saturday. I went to watch that in monsoon conditions, I tell you. And we ended up losing 3-2 last kick of the game. Smith scoring that particular one. But the one talking point of many was the off Danny Elliott, which was set up by one of the Chorley players. Even Andy Priest said it was a goal, and it was you don't want to blame the referees, but this one, the referee on Saturday absolutely stank the joint out. He really did. He was so poor. But we're going to give a shout out to Chorley's ground staff, because they did exactly what Blackburn Rovers failed to do. We were in the same, under the rain cloud in the same area, and Chorley got their game done. So give yourselves a pat on the back there, Chorley's ground staff. You were officially better than Blackburn Rovers, because they've got to play it again. But yes, we've got lots to talk about. We've got Dave here, our Morecambe supporter again. Very, very different circumstances. I've got to bring up one of the most extraordinary last 4 weeks. But we'll incorporate everything else into the breakdown of the game. So much has been going on, particularly with Eastleigh, Yeovil, Sutton, sort of proving me right. And indeed, we will talk at length, or as long as it needs to be, through them games. But Dan, thank you for that.
What beautiful words, mate. Obviously, all our thoughts go out to Billy Vigor's family and friends and everyone at the club. Truly tragic. It's no age whatsoever. Hopefully things will change off the back of that. But yeah, we're joined by Dave. Like I said, last time we had you on, Dave, it was touch and go whether this season was even going to happen for you, whether it was the end for the club, and obviously, you know, you came out the other side. So massive news there. What's your thoughts been since obviously you have started your season? You've obviously got the new manager in as well. What's your thoughts been on that?
It's been a roller coaster couple of months, gents. I'll be honest with you. The last time I was on, I think we were literally a few days away from certainly being expelled from the National League, and then whatever followed down the track in terms of the future of Morecambe as a company. We got saved on the Sunday. The National League board were going to meet on the Wednesday. That was the 20th of August, and they were going to expel us. There's no two ways about that. So we were literally just a few days away from not having a team or not having a division to play in this season. Since then, lots has happened. Within 24 hours, we parted company with Derek Adams, which came as a surprise to a lot of people. It didn't come as a surprise to me particularly, because it was very clear throughout the Punjab Warriors takeover that they have a very clear direction of where they want to take the club and what they want to do once they are custodians of the club. They've installed Ashveer Singh Johal as the new manager. He is 30 years old. He is the first Sikh professional manager in any of the top 5 divisions in English football history. And he's a bit of a trailblazer, really, for the Sikh and Indian community. And one of the things that Punjab Warriors want to do is use Morecambe as a vehicle to promote Sikhs and Indians and I suppose other ethnic minorities, and be more inclusive in professional football and professional sport, because obviously it's I'm on an ethnic background that's significantly underrepresented at the moment, and we are the first club to sort of fully embrace that, if you will. On the pitch, there's been lots happened. We've had a lot of players come through the door. We've got about 35 players in the squad now, and it's just been signing after signing after signing. Some names you'll never have heard of. Other players you think, goodness me, how have they managed to sign that player? And everything in between, really. Experience, young players, loan players, and it's turned into quite a bit of a monstrous squad, really. It's gone okay on the pitch. I think it's always going to take a bit of time. I think, as Ash has said, every single pre and post match, and he's absolutely right about this, we've not had a pre-season. So we're still currently in pre-season. If we'd have had a full summer to prepare, we'd probably have another 2 pre-season games before our first proper game of the league season. So that's pretty much where we are in terms of planning and preparation, especially as we've got a number of players in the squad who hadn't played football competitively or had played in quite a minor league overseas somewhere. So it's taken a bit of time for everybody to get up to speed, but we're getting there now. We've only won 2 of our first 8 games, and we've got a busy period coming up in the next few weeks. But I think our performances are coming together in the final third. I think we are brilliant, absolutely electric when it gets going. I'll talk more about that in a second, I'm sure. We are obviously very leaky at the back at the moment, which is part of the reason why we lost on Tuesday night against Halifax. But work in progress. But one thing's for sure is that the future is very bright, and regardless of what happens on the pitch this season, as I think I said when I was on last time, lads, is the fact that we've even got a football team to support, and the fact that the fans are now arguing about on the field matters and refereeing decisions and why is he playing there and why is he not in the squad. You know, the kind of stuff you really want to be talking about as a football fan. We're now talking about that rather than ownership issues. So I suppose in a way it doesn't matter too much how we get on. Obviously we don't want to get relegated, of course, and I don't think we will for a moment, but you know, to a large extent, on the pitch doesn't really matter because we still exist.
Yeah, I mean, like you say, that is the overriding factor, isn't it? And then for me, I just wanted to mention, obviously, that first game against Altrincham, first game back, that atmosphere. I watched that game, absolutely incredible. When that goal went in the last minute, it must have been one of the best feelings in the world.
Oh, it was amazing, Dan. It was amazing. You couldn't see it coming because where my commentary position is at the Mazoom, I'm right on the halfway line. And it's absolutely perfect. The best view in the stadium, really. I'm very, very lucky. And you couldn't really see it coming. It was drifting towards a draw. But as soon as we broke, you know, when sometimes you just get a feeling that something's going to just happen. And we had a lot to do. We sort of broke on them, went 3 against 2, and it was a great finish. But I've never, ever heard our stadium erupts with all. And I thought literally the ground was going to lift the whole stadium off the ground. It was that loud. And if you watch the zone footage back, you can't really hear my commentary because the noise of the crowd is that overpowering on it. It was just an absolutely incredible feeling. But that was only one of 2 wins that we've had all season. Our second one last Saturday against Wealdstone, which is why we are in progress. But I think that's a moment that'll probably live with every Morecambe fan for the rest of their lives, to be honest.
Yeah, it was a real moment, I think, even just for football fans. And I know the people that don't watch National League that were watching that Morecambe game, just because of the love of football.
I remember getting pelters from my friends because it was on the same time as Spurs Man City, and I took a picture, and I think I sent it to Dave on Twitter, to be fair, saying, loving your commentary, man. Our mates saw it and said, why on earth are you watching Altrincham versus Morecambe kind of thing instead of Spurs? And then I explained because they were still buried in the sand a little bit, and they kind of got it then. But I was like, it's just a win for football. That game took place, and then I was up at the commentary at Braintree at the time, and you just heard like a buzz around that stadium that Morecambe had scored, and it was a great feeling for football. So God knows what it felt like for you guys that had really been through it all for that past, I'd say months, but probably years, to be honest with you, the last couple of years.
Well, actually, to be honest with you, Craig, we didn't want to play the game because we only got saved, I say, on the Sunday afternoon. We party company with Derek Adams on the Monday. Ashford Johal got appointed on the Tuesday. Come Wednesday lunchtime, registration transfer embargo was lifted. So less than 72 hours before the game, we had 5 players. So we actually said to the National League, can you give us a couple of weeks grace? We'll catch up the fixtures. We need a couple of weeks to get our act together. And because we were the featured game on the zone, we were the 12:30 kickoff. The National League said, no, I think if we weren't the featured game, we might have got a bit more time to prepare. I mean, it's all ifs, buts and maybes now, of course. And I think in a way, we're pretty glad we did. We then went and got hammered on Bank Holiday Monday at Aldershot because we were just absolutely knackered at that point. Because you know how brutal National League is. Got to play 2 games in less than 48 hours. It was ridiculous.
Yeah,
with a 5-hour drive as well. It was
crazy.
It
was a rough welcome back, wasn't it? Rough one.
It was a bit.
But like you say, the overriding factor is that you've got your football club back. You're talking about on the field issues, referees, stuff like that, and that's the main thing. I just wanted to move on. Yeah, exactly. I just wanted to move on a little bit to obviously what your manager has been saying. Obviously, he's got this clear style of play that he wants to play. I think I watched you against Forest Green, and there was numerous times you gave the ball away at the back. And it was like the same repetition over and over. And I just wondered, has the style of play gone down well with the supporters? Are they happy with how it's going?
I don't think there's any doubt. And I slightly caveat this by the fact that we are in the National League. We're not in League One or League Two as we have been in previous seasons. But I don't think it's too much of an exaggeration to say that some of the attacking football this season, we've got issues at the back. There's no doubt about that. Partly because of the style of play. But going forward, when it clicks, I don't think we've played as well in the final third or as eye-catching, as electric in our history. Derek Adams, Jim Bentley, Sammy McElroy, the previous managers, big names in managerial, and they didn't play anywhere. The complete polar opposite to Derek Adams' ball. Ash ball is just a complete and utter antithesis of it. And I'm here for it, personally. It's very possession heavy. It's playing the ball out from the back. The word that Ash uses is playing vertical. We always try and play vertical if we can. Now, if that's back vertical, not a problem, but we don't play side to side for the hell of it. We try and make positive progress up the pitch by playing vertically, trying to break the lines. And you've seen some of the goals we scored this season. Probably the second goal on Saturday just gone against Wealdstone. If you run that back on the highlights, there's about 25 different passes. We have a shot that's saved by the keeper. We've recycled it back. We've had about another 20 passes. Now we went bish, 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 and ball in the back of the net. And it was the epitome of Ash ball, and long may that continue. Maybe it's too stylish for the National League. Maybe you've got to be a bit more lumpy. I don't know. I mean, we're still learning our trade in this division still, of course, aren't we, after 18 years away? So time will tell, but it's so eye-catching to watch. When it works, it's absolutely amazing. But he's never going to change. He's said already, this is the way we play, and the players are going to have to get used to it.
Yeah,
well,
I mean,
this ties in nicely with what I'm going to ask. Here we go. This was a quote from Ashford Singh Joval. After 4 months, we're going to have an amazing team. Not just for this league, but we're going to have one of the best footballing teams in England. I'm confident of that. Now, at the time, because it was a fair few weeks ago, at the time, were the Morecambe fans, this guy's got some ambition, or were they wondering if there was a leaking bottle of methylated spirits nearby when he said it?
Well, he said that at Solihull a couple of weeks ago, Mark, actually, and I was stood next to him, pointing my microphone in his face when he said that. We'd just drawn 4-4 against Solihull Moors in one of the games of the season, and we'd scored some absolute unbelievable. All 4 goals were amazing from our part, and we let 4 soft ones in, 4-4 draw. I think he got 1 or 2 eyebrows raised. I don't think there's any doubt about that, but he absolutely believes in his footballing philosophy, and he's absolutely unshakable in that. The one thing that Ash has got is he's not got experience managerially, but he has got all of his coaching badges. He's one of, I think, only a couple of 100 people in the world that's got the top UEFA Super A Pro license. And he got that when he was 29 years old, about 15 months ago. He qualified for that. So he's super, super qualified. He's never played the game. He's always been a coach from when he started getting into football. But he's super, super qualified. And he's got a very, very clear direction of travel for the club. And that is not going to change. We are going to be passing it out from the back between now and the end of the season.
Super confident as well, isn't he?
He's unbelievably confident. You can, when you meet him, I mean, he's a lovely fella, Ash, first and foremost. I mean, I think the whole Punjab Warriors setup are, to be honest with you, very community focused, very much, we're all one big family and we're all going in the same direction, which is great. But he has got that air of, not arrogance at all. He's got that air of confidence about him. When he shakes your hand and looks you in the eye and tells you that, come Christmas, we're going to be the best footballing side in England. You believe him. You get on his bus. Do you know what I mean? So we'll see. We'll see. The early signs are great. Obviously, we've not got the points on the board at the moment, but as Ash says, judge us at the end of October, and I'm prepared to give him till the end of October. We'll be about 15 games in by that point. So we'll be in a much better position to judge him, I suppose, at that point.
Yeah, I think October's a great time to really sit back and take note of it because, like you say, you didn't have the pre-season. Some of these games have been your pre-season, and obviously you've brought a lot of players in. So I just wanted to ask you about the players that have been brought in. Is there any in particular that have really caught your eye since they've came in?
Well, we've got lots of players, 35 players in the squad, there or thereabouts at the moment. So we're going to have to farm some out on loan. It's been the complete opposite of having 3 days before the start of the season to having more than 30 now. But we've got some unbelievable players in the building, some who have perhaps lost their way, maybe, and have not quite had the career they perhaps thought they should. Others are young players who we are taking a chance on, and others haven't really played football in this country before, but Ash knows them from his time when he was coach at Leicester Academy and Wigan and other places he's been. So we've got a real League of Nations almost in the squad, and we've got some names. I mean, Miguel Aziz, Arsenal Academy, 3 years ago, he's playing in the Europa League for Arsenal, and he's now in our midfield. Rolando Aarons, I'm really excited to see him. We haven't got his international work permit through yet. Hopefully it comes through before Saturday, but certainly in the next week or so. If not, 7 years ago, he's dancing around defenders in the Premier League. He's obviously now in the National League for other reasons and not where his career wanted to take him. But you look at plays like that, and we spoke off air before we started our chat about Jack Nolan. Loads of games. I thought it was brilliant for Altrincham. Didn't quite work out at Gillingham. An inverted winger, a left footer who plays on the right wing. He's played 3 games for us. He scored 3 absolutely goals of the season contenders, all 3 strikes, including the one he scored against Halifax on Tuesday night. So we've got quality. There's no doubt at all we've got quality. I suppose it's just blending that together and the players have then got to buy into, and I suppose this is the same for any manager in any club, isn't it? You've got to buy into the philosophy of what the gaffer wants to do at that given moment. And I think for a lot of the players in the squad, it's very unfamiliar territory that they're in. So they're learning, and they've got to learn quick, haven't they? Because we can't keep shipping the goals that we've been letting in. It's pointless, scoring 3 if we concede 4 at the other end, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely, mate. Definitely. Craig, did you have any questions for Dave?
No, I think we've covered it quite well. Ultimately, we're just delighted to have him back and Morecambe in the league doing well. Obviously, I think most football fans now are hoping they stay up as well. There's a little part of me as that Braintree fan thinking hopefully they get cut adrift before the end of October. So there's one less place for us to worry about. But that's the fickle football fan in me, shall we say.
You say that, Craig, actually, and somebody sent me their betting slip on X in a private message a couple of days ago, and they've got Morecambe they've got 2 bets: one to win the National League at through 250 to 1. And they've had £5 on that, and they've also had a tenner on just promotion, so finishing 7th or higher, and that's 150 to 1. So if you fancy a cheeky couple of quid, might pay for you some holiday next year. You never know. It's better than a lottery ticket, isn't it? So
it just sounds like this season is going to be one hell of a ride for you.
It's just going to be a roller coaster, Craig. There's no doubt about that. You're never going to have a
boring game with your playing style.
No. We're not going to do 1-0 wins. There's no. I mean, we'll probably beat Truro 1-0 on Saturday. I've said that, but we're not going to do. We're not going to do 1-0 wins. It's going to be quite the ride, and I'm here for it. I cannot wait. Personally, cannot wait. But I don't think we're going to be in any relegation trouble. I'd be really surprised, because I think our squad is just too good, really, for the National League. I mean, Dan will probably say, well, Carlisle said that in League 2 and we got relegated. I mean, it doesn't always carry through, does it? I appreciate that. But I think player for player, we're far too good to be anywhere near the bottom 4. But come back to me in February when we are in the bottom 4. We can have the chat again, I suppose. But I think we are going to start steadily climbing the table, hopefully.
Yeah, I think when it clicks, it'll click, and you won't look back. I think that's my opinion on it. I think obviously it just depends when it clicks. But like you say, October is a rough time to kind of look at it, and I think it'll probably click and you'll be fine. But yeah, we'll move on. Deep dive time. So we've got Morecambe 1, Halifax 2. First game of our deep dive. Dave, I'm going to come straight back to you, mate. Obviously, you'll have been at this game. You'll have been on commentary for this game. How did you see this one, mate?
Real tale of 2 halves, really. We went 1-0 up. Jack Nolan thunderbolt again. We call him Jack Drop the Shoulder Nolan. That's his full title now, because all 3 goals have been exactly the same. Cuts in from the right, drops the shoulder, boom, into the top corner it goes. We were comfortable at 1-0 at half time. Probably should have been more. Halifax in the second half did a number on us. They absolutely did a number on us. They bought Owen Bray off the bench, who I thought was absolutely terrific, probably one of the best players I've seen in the National League this season. He got a goal and an assist, and it just changed the game. And I think I give credit to their manager, Adam Lakeland, to be honest, because he saw where our threats were, trying to break through the lines, and he absolutely nullified us. And we didn't have the answer to it in the second half. We didn't have the keys. A little bit of fortune. The second goal, the winner, what turned to be the winner, was a massive deflection from a corner. And the first one we probably should have said it's quite a weak header which just trickled over the line, but we were stitched up, really. We were sort of out tactics almost, and not a great day at the office, really. I think Halifax were pretty decent value for the win all in, but maybe a draw, a fair result, because we didn't hit the heights of our previous games going forward. But credit where it's due to Halifax, they certainly did their homework.
Yeah, I mean, just when you mentioned about Halifax there, I've noticed there, obviously they've had a bit of a shaky start, but they're now unbeaten in 3 back-to-back wins. Seem to be steadying that ship and building and moving up the table. Maybe one to watch over the next couple of weeks to see how they progress on that run. Craig, how did you see this one, mate?
Yes, it's the beauty of the National League, isn't it? Like you said, we were worrying about Halifax, and suddenly they're on the outskirts of the playoffs again. And if anything, that can give teams like Morecambe that little bit of hope that just get that run of 3 or 4 games together, and suddenly you're flying up the table. No one's been cut adrift yet, and no one's running away with it as such yet. But yeah, I think Dave summed it up well. Tale of 2 halves. Morecambe looked good first half. Maybe should have been further ahead. Halifax were just a better side second half. Used their maybe more National League experience, shall we say, in there, and then ran out winners through the Owen Bray. Fortunate winner, but when you're on top, maybe you deserve that little bit of luck, and he got that and deserved it for his performance.
Yeah, definitely. Mark, how did you see this one, mate?
Well, I've seen a comment made about Adam Lakeland. He's been compared. I've seen the comparison to how Chris Millington was for Halifax last season, and I've made it perfectly clear on this podcast. I'm a big fan of Adam Lakeland. I was when he was at Curzon Ashton, but yeah, he's getting the best. He's getting the best out of them. I mean, they're a very tall, physical squad. The fact that they brought on Owen Bray, and he has got plaudit after plaudit, and rightly so. Morecambe, Dave did say the good point there of not having the pre-season. So it's catch up in every single way for Morecambe at the moment. But I mean, we waxed lyrical about Jack Nolan earlier, and my God, such a good player, And if he's not the most paciest guy in the world, he showed he can actually draw players in and he can beat them. And it's not beat 7 players, then put it in. It's get past you, put it in. We had Morecambe in a very sticky situation at the start of the season in the predictions, but we didn't know whether they'd have a club or not. So get it right at the back. I know there's a lot of fans clamouring for Theo Vassell to be signed. He's still a free agent. Every time Morecambe say they've signed somebody, the Morecambe fans are saying, "Oh, it's got to be Theo Vassell," and he'd be a great addition to the squad. But once they've got all the little foibles sorted out, then Morecambe will start to rise. And with players like Jack Nolan, Rolando Aarons coming in, you know, the quality is there, but they might belong to Halifax and belong to Owen Bray, so there we are. And Sam Johnson keeping him out. Told you he was a good goalkeeper.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, next game, we've got York City 5, Carlisle 0.
You first, Dan.
I'll go first. This never happens. I never go first.
Where's my popcorn?
So,
no, but we really want you to tonight.
Yeah, I know everyone's waiting for this, so I want to be as measured as possible, because I'm a professional. Absolutely rubbish from minute one. Men against boys. It was a real reality check for a lot of our fans that Robbie Savage mentioned it on last night's pod that someone had phoned 606 on Radio 5 saying Carlisle's going to win the league by 10 points. Whoever that fan was, give your head a wobble, seriously. It was so poor. It could have been 5-0 at half time. It was that bad. The reality is, from a Carlisle perspective, Gabe Breeze in goal probably would have been man of the match, but he conceded 5 and gave a penalty away. That's how bad the performance was. We were 3-0 down at half time. Mark Hughes obviously looked at it and went, "Oh, more of the same, lads." Second half, and didn't make any substitutions at half time. Didn't make any substitutions till about 55 minutes when he brought Georgie Kelly on, and by that point we were 4-0 down. It was just a real horror display, but massive credit to York. They were first to everything. Second balls, set pieces were bang on. The wing backs, the full backs were bombing forward. Ollie Pierce found his scoring boots. His movement was causing our defenders problems. We were trying to play a high line, which I didn't quite understand when Terrell Thomas and Bevis Mugabe aren't pacey, but we were trying it for some reason, and they exploited that massively. So massive credit to them, and it feels like it was a real marker put down by them that they're not here to play around. They're here to win this league, and they've made a believer out of me that they're definitely a better side than us anyways. But yeah, that's my piece on it anyways. Mark, what did you make of this one?
Oh boy, we can certainly tell some of the York fans don't really appreciate what we say on here sometimes, that was a champion's performance this early. But if I was Carlisle's goalkeeper, I'd be saying to the people who allegedly my defence, where in the wide world were you? Because I've seen the goals and they just stood there and watched it. You can't, it's not, he's not an octopus. He's not an octopus. The whole back four should be ashamed of themselves because they let the team down, they let the goalkeeper down, a shambles of a performance. But then again, York have got the quality to make other teams have a shambolic performance. Ollie Pearce didn't seem to let the transfer window rumour and innuendo affect him. He's back with the goals. Alex Newby always knew he had something in him at Altrincham, you know. He just needed to move to York to show it. But yeah, if Mark Hughes is not careful, he'll be joining the long list of managers leaving conference clubs this season. Must do better.
Must do better, I think is a good way to put it. I think just one other bit I wanted to add as well was that York cottoned on early that our main tactic is give it to Regan Linney and hope he just does the business. And then he had an off night and we had no other options going forward. There was nothing. Luke Armstrong may as well have not played because he didn't get any service.
Louis Armstrong.
It was just, yeah, I felt sorry for him. I really did. And like I say, I think the better teams in the league in particular, we've got Rochdale Saturday. They'll just keep exploiting it. We've got a real tough run coming up. So it's going to be interesting. We need a response and we need it quickly. Dave, how did you see this one, mate? Obviously, I think, no one's really surprised at a York win, but I think the manner of it.
I think, like you've alluded to, Dan, I think they mean in business this year, aren't they? I think they've only lost once in the last 9 games. So that tells you its own story. They've got an out-and-out goal scorer as well in Ollie Pearce. He's like Michael Cheek for Bromley, isn't he? Prolific in non-league, never played in the Football League, been rumoured, including in the summer, that he was going to make the move into the EFL. Maybe he'll play next season as a York City player. But when you've got somebody who can put the ball in the net, as you know yourself down with Regan Linney, gives yourself a chance, doesn't it? But the momentum with York, and you look through their squad and they've got some quality. They really have. And especially with only, obviously, the top team getting automatic promotion, it's going to be a bit of a bun fight. I think Carlisle are going to be all right. You've got plenty of quality. And you're not where you are in the league at this stage of the season for nothing. I know, obviously, one man's goals have fired you there pretty much, but I think you'll be all right. But York are definitely ones to watch, and I wouldn't even say they're dark horses, to be honest. I think they are the real deal.
Yeah, I agree. That made me feel better, Dave. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. We'll be fine. We'll be fine, guys. We'll be fine. It's just a minor blip.
Don't get me wrong. I mean, 12th is fine, isn't it?
Yeah,
but...
No, Dave. Don't carry on. Like I say,
come on every weekday, please.
They need a response. Need to have a response and quick, because I think our next few games we've got Rochdale at home, Hartlepool at home. I think we've got Scunthorpe away, Forest Green coming up. It's real tough games. So if they don't get a response, they could easily. We talked about momentum. It also works the other way as well. So we'll see. Craig, any final thoughts on that one?
Some even better news for York fans that you guys may not have seen because it's only just come out in the last half hour, and obviously we've been recording 34 minutes. I'll read the lines to you, gents, because obviously people would have heard it, but you may not have. So I'll get your live reactions on this. 8:30 Thursday evening, we started recording. 8:30 Thursday evening. I'll put my teeth back in for that one. York City, we are thrilled to announce that Ollie Pearce has signed a contract extension at York City FC. The 30-year-old has signed a
you're in trouble now, mate. You're in trouble now.
Hang on, Mark. I'm finished yet, please. 8:37. We are delighted to announce that Alex Hunt has signed a contract extension at York City FC. So they have. We talked about the meaning business on the pitch. They are now meaning business fully off it as well tonight. Statement performance Tuesday night. probably the most dominant from start to finish performance from the minute Fagan Walcott scored to that final whistle. They were dominant, and they've just cracked on off the pitch the next couple of days as well. Fair play to York. We've given them some stick. We've received some stick. But for me, that's the most dominant performance you're going to see all season. And they've backed it up off the pitch 2 or 3 days later. Statement made. Can they go and back it up even more on the pitch at the weekends? If they do,
yes, they
the
can.
world is their oyster.
Yeah, I think
those 2 contract signings are bad news for the rest of the league, especially Ollie Pearce, because once he pops, he cannot stop. And oh boy, howdy, York City fans, your fish are very, very impressed tonight.
Yeah, I think it's a real statement again, like Craig says. Very impressive from York, and yeah, dominant display. Nothing else to add to that. Next, we've got Altrincham 1, Forest Green 2. Forest Green fans that comment on the podcast saying we don't deep dive Forest Green. You've had a manager special, and now you're getting deep dived as well. So lay off us a little bit, please. Craig, I'll come to you first, mate. What did you make of this one?
Forest Green train keeps rolling. Could they be the biggest rivals to York at the moment? The evidence probably says yes. They finding a way to win. Obviously, we had a fantastic special with Robbie that's gone out today. I urge everyone to tune into that one. It was really insightful. And he said, we worry about us. We don't worry about anyone else. We worry about what we can do. We back ourselves to be good enough. And that is why when there's a little bit of adversity in their games, Altrincham levelled. Maybe the tide was turning their way. He was not worried. They turned up in the second half. Yes, Altrincham got the second yellow for Golden. Back-to-back yellow straight away. A bit of dissent, I believe, for the second one. Cost his team. But it felt inevitable from that moment that Forest Green would then go on, win the game. Innes with a great header from the front post. Great near-post run. Brilliant finish. And from then, they saw the game out like an experienced team would. They've made a lot of signings, just like Morecambe have, but it's clicked very quickly for them as well. There's a togetherness there. All I can say to Forest Green fans, yes, with deep dives tonight, but more importantly, go and listen to the Savage special. It was excellent. Credit to him for giving us as much time as he did. It was really, really enjoyable. And enjoy the ride, like we said with Dave, with Morecambe. Forest Green, their style of football is completely different to this time last year. Go and enjoy the ride you're going on. Will it end in promotion? Who knows? It's an extremely tough division to go up in, but enjoy that ride because it's going to be a hell of a journey. And if they keep playing like they do, they're going to have a lot of fun with it as well.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you mentioned our podcast with Robbie. Like I say, if you haven't watched it or listened to it, please head over and listen because it was so insightful. He spoke passionately about his philosophy and everything that he wants to do with Forest Green. He says, we focus on ourselves. We don't worry about the opposition. Really something that you could buy into as a player and as a fan. So yeah, I would urge you to head over for that. But yeah, Forest Green with a habit of late goals as well.
Finish this one first before you go.
Yeah. Oh yeah, finish this one first. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Dave, how did you see this one, mate?
You get on Robbie Savage's bus, don't you, when you hear him speak? It's as simple as that. He's obviously very likeable, and I got quite close to Robbie Savage just a couple of weeks ago because we played them, and in our commentary position, we're right over the top of the tunnel where the 2 technical areas are. And when you get that close to an opposition manager, you can really see how they work. And he's one of these, I suppose he's still a frustrated player, isn't he? Kicks and heads every single ball and plays the game in his head every single second. But they're just a really good team, aren't they? It's as simple as that. That's why they're unbeaten this season. You can't see them losing many. There have been times this season when they've been down and out and they've scored last-minute equalisers and they've pulled results out of the bag. They're not going to, a bit like teams at the top, such as Carlisle, such as Rochdale, they're not going to play players and teams off the park. And York, they're going to have bad days as well. Of course, you're not going to be playing teams off the park every week, but they've got that quality to get the job done time and time again and accumulating the points when the chips are down, perhaps. And Nick Horton's another one, isn't he? A bit like Ollie Pearce for York. How's he never played in the Football League? Or why has he not had that opportunity? And when you've got that kind of quality and you've got EFL experience at the back and in midfield, and obviously bought a few of the better players from Macclesfield to top the squad up as well. He's got that good blend, hasn't he? So if I was Forest Green Rovers fan, I'd be pretty pleased at the moment.
Yeah, it's working an absolute treat for them, isn't it? Mark, we'll come to you next. Obviously, Robbie was disappointed you couldn't make the pod last night. So, what's your thoughts on this game, mate?
Well, I'm not going to disappoint him tonight. I've seen the YouTube comments. One of them, I had to sort of correct them, but an absolutely phenomenal job. I know what Robbie's all about from Macclesfield, and when you're seeing high intensity, high energy in describing Forest Green's play, it's no surprise because that's exactly what we saw at Macclesfield last season. Nick Pick, and as you say, as Dave rightly pointed out, how on earth has he not even had a taste of the Football League? I mean, I know C. File paid him very, very well, but surely not that well. But yeah, what it can't be denied. I mean, I know I've taken the mickey out of Forest Green, the 14th league position, but that's a story for another day. Trust me, when myself and Robbie finally get together on one of these things. But there's no denying he's doing the job. He's got a vital cog there in John McMahon. Don't discredit what he does. He's a superb coach, as are the rest of the Forest Green coaching staff. Laurent Mendy, Trey Pemberton, Neil Kengney, Carl McAllister, everybody who was there as well. Yeah, when he was adding to the squad, I mean, Christian Deutsch, Moore Taylor, I forget his first name, do excuse me for that. There was already a wealth of players already there. Altrincham, you can tell who they're missing. You can tell who they're missing. If they'd have lost Lewis Baines in the summer, they would be in the predicament they would rather not be in. And if they don't sort it out soon, that is where they'll find themselves. But this was a game of where the lesser of two evils won.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you had a vested interest as a Macclesfield fan. But again, big win for Forest Green.
Well, I know which side my brother's buttered in that one.
sitting pretty at the top of the league, unbeaten. Can't be any more glowingly top. Can't be any more glowingly spoken about than what we've just done there. So next we've got Aldershot 1, Yeovil 4. The goals seem to have dried up at one end for Aldershot, but they're still shipping them at the back. So this was a bit of a shocker result, but big one for Yeovil in a week of upheaval with the manager changing again and things like that. So Dave, I'll come to you first, mate. What did you make of this one?
Well, it's new manager bounce, isn't it, for Yeovil, for perhaps reasons which they didn't quite expect a couple of weeks ago. But I watched the highlights, I watched a couple of Yeovil highlights, actually, and they look good going forward. They've got the big number 7, Junior Marias. He's a big unit, him, isn't he? Bombing away down the left-hand side. Goodness me, just bulldozing his way through. They've got people who can put the ball in the net. We played Aldershot, I say, on Bank Holiday Monday, our second game, and they beat us 4-0. They beat Morecambe 4-0. And they looked neat and tidy. Didn't look anything spectacular, but you thought, well, yeah, that'll be okay. And they can't seem to get the ball in the net, and they're shipping a lot of goals at the moment. So a bit of work to do for the Shots. But Yeovil, you can't argue with a 4-1 away win. And obviously, got Richard Dryden until the end of the season to get a bit of stability. So you're going to be pretty happy if you're a Glovers fan, I think.
Yeah, definitely, mate. Definitely. I've just looked there. Aldershot have now won 1 in 6. That's worrying form for them. They're going to have to turn that round pretty quickly. Mark, what did you make of this one?
Wasn't quite value for money for the home side, but I mean Yeovil. Again, this was one of the subjects that was going to be incorporated at the start of tonight's podcast. Danny Webb was there for a cup of coffee, and then Richard Dryden, who's taken over for the season. Will he see the season out if somebody becomes available? Who knows? But Yeovil have needed something, and if they finally got it, then let Richard Dryden get on with his job. Give him the money to spend now that Yeovil are in a bit more of a better financial position, so they can get that squad up. Yeah, Junior Marias will turn out to be one of the signings of the season, and Dagenham must be absolutely kicking themselves that they couldn't keep hold of it. Campbell as well. He scored last night, and but yeah, Aldershot. We said this. What is it? What do they really want as a football club? And they're still asking that question. They're still asking that question. The FA Trophy defence is a few weeks away, but then we'll see exactly where their priorities lie. But they've got to stop this kamikaze football that they seem to be doing. It's great watching God knows how many goals it go in, but when you've scored one and let in 4, you don't want to keep that on going. As entertaining as it may be, entertainment does not get you 3 points.
Yeah, I agree. They need to definitely tighten up at the back. Definitely, and we've said that pretty much since game 1. So, Craig, anything to add on that one?
Yeah, 47 goals in 11 games. That's what's been in the Aldershot games this season. They've scored 24 and conceded 23. So definitely value for money. But for Yeovil, there was so much dismay on social media this last week with everything that's gone on. Obviously, we don't know the ins and outs of the Danny Webb situation. I don't think we ever will. I don't think we're needed to know. Obviously, with everything that's gone on, if it's something personal reasons, we wish him and his family, obviously, the very, very best with that. What it's meant for Yeovil Football Club is obviously they've had to make a decision, and a lot of the fans didn't agree with it. And I one or two that I follow on social media that said they're not even going to tune in and watch the game. Well, they missed the spectacle for their team. They turned in a performance which I don't think anybody saw coming. But for them, it was an excellent result. And can they build on it? Because social media is a very toxic place, and you'd imagine if they go 2 or 3 without a win coming from here, all that doubt's going to be creeping back in. But enjoy the moment and just pray and hope that there's going to be more coming their way. But yeah, really open game, no massive surprise, and Yeovil were very clinical on the day, so fair play to them.
Yeah, definitely, mate, definitely. And we talked about new manager bounce. The next game takes us nicely, which was Eastleigh 2, Southend 1. I know it was only announced today, Scott Bartlett, new manager of Eastleigh, but obviously the manager being sacked and then that bounce coming in.
I think he was announced just before kickoff.
Oh, was he?
So I think there was maybe not.
It was announced yesterday. Yeah,
I don't think he may have been involved with the game and everything, but there was that good feeling around the stadium and that. And then I'll jump in there if that's all right.
Yeah, of course.
My man, probably one of my favourite players in the National League, Aaron Blair opened the scoring, and then you felt when Southend scored that they were going to then take the initiative and go on and win the game. But then Eastleigh, to their credit, dug deep and stole it late on. And from what I've seen and what I've heard, it was richly deserved by them. So really good for them. Southend fans are starting to panic just a little bit. I think it's very early to panic, but when you've sat there Tuesday night and watched York's performance, and then you've gone away to Eastleigh and lost, they've probably got a little bit of a right to have a little bit of a panic, because it does feel like it's going to take something special to displace some of them teams up there. And no disrespect to Eastleigh, but they lost to Braintree on Saturday. They've been very poor lately. You go there and you lose to them, you're not going to back yourself right in that moment as being a title contender. So work to do for Southend, but for them, hopefully a minor blip and they can get back on the ground. But Eastleigh, just something for that manager to work on. He's going to go into a training probably for the first time today, maybe tomorrow, with those players, and they're all going to be slightly lifted even more than they were now, because they've picked up a really crucial 3 points, and they've got the squad. We backed them to be in the playoffs. They've failed to deliver that early days, but like we said, no one's cut adrift. 3 or 4 wins, you're probably right in that playoff mix again. So it's a great start for them, and Scott Bartlett will be buzzing to be getting in there now, and the players will be buzzing. There'll be the buzz around there that Saturday night, I imagine, was not there in the slightest.
Yeah, definitely. Mark, anything to add on that one?
Well, don't forget, they've also got a new director of football in Chris Todd, who's gone from Yeovil. And if it's what I'm thinking of, then he is a former teammate at Forest Green of Scott Bartlett. So those two will know each other inside out. Yeah, Aaron Blair, we've spoken about him. He didn't get off to a lightning start when the season began, but he's picking up now. He's scoring goals. Southend will get out of this. I mean, it was like when York got beaten by Solihull. Results like that will happen, but they've got the quality. They know they've got the quality, and they'll get out of it. But now it's time for Scott Bartlett to stamp his authority on that Eastleigh side and get them to where some people have predicted where they should be, didn't we?
We did. Definitely. Dave, what was your thoughts on this game, mate?
Yeah, I think Eastleigh might be in for a good season now. They've got some stability, like you said, Craig. I think them inside the top 7 at the start of the season, or just below, and pushing for those playoff places. They've got a former Morecambe striker up front, Andy Dallas, who has been quite prolific at National League level. Never quite done it at the EFL, and he didn't quite hit the heights for Morecambe last season, but he's got off to a decent start leading the line for Southend. I think they are going to be absolutely fine as well. But they're a similar club to Morecambe, aren't they, Southend, having the financial issues coming out the other side. So I think if you are a Southend fan, first and foremost, you're grateful you've even got a club to support in the first place. And the fact, again, that you're arguing the toss that you've lost to Eastleigh and on midweek, that's makes a nice, refreshing change, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Perspective's key, isn't it? Like, we had James on, Southend supporter, last week, and we were basically saying, like, obviously talking about how nice is it just to not have any off the field issues, similar to what we talked about earlier on. So yeah, I think they definitely appreciate that. And then the last of our deep dives is Brackley 1, Truro 0. Mark, I'll come to you first on this one. Truro seem to be really struggling at the moment. Can they turn it round?
Oh, no.
No.
Basically, no. Not at the moment. Not at the moment. I've not lost faith already as such. I haven't lost faith as such. I'm just beginning to doubt that the faith is there. I'm probably relying on John Askey too much. You know, the sentimental value and everything like that. But oh boy, Brackley and Truro, which one of these promoted teams will do better? And I'm going to hold my hands up here. Brackley are showing us exactly what they're made of. I mean, they could have lost Gavin Cowan to Eastleigh. He's obviously stayed. They've got Connor Hall at the moment banging in goals for them, and they are looking really, really good. But Truro I don't know what it is. I don't even think they know what it is they need at the moment. But if they let the teams in that bottom 4 start to get away, start to make a run for it, then it's going to be so hard. You know, I mean, I know and I'm going to be ridiculed, but you know, if Carlisle don't win the league, I'll give it back. But yeah, it's looking desperate already. It really is looking desperate already. They need to do something, but they need to figure it out and figure it out fast.
Yeah, definitely. I just wanted to mention on Brackley, actually, their home form has been absolutely outstanding. The only points they've dropped at home so far this season was Carlisle at home and Scunthorpe. I don't think that's any, shame there, dropping points there. And I think what they've done at home is what I expected Truro to kind of do at home and really make the home advantage count, which they haven't.
Dave, you and me both.
Yeah, Dave, what did you make of this one, mate?
I think it was a game that Truro needed to win, really, if they were to sort of get back on something of an even footing. Brackley have had a great start to the season, haven't they? 16 points from 10 games. I think already they're going to be absolutely fine. But Truro, it's bad habits, isn't it? Its runs are difficult to get out of, whether they're a winning run or a losing run. And just one win in 11 games so far. I don't think they've scored in 4 games either in the National League. That tells its story. They just need a scabby 1-0 win from somewhere to reinvigorate them, I suppose. But I think, as Mark says, you already start to lose that belief, don't you, when, we've lost another one, Playing Morecambe at home on Saturday, Truro. So hopefully that scabby 1-0 win's not going to come this weekend, but we'll wait and see. But you do fear for Truro. I mean, we played Worthing in the FA Cup last season, and obviously there were 2 divisions between us then. And we even though Morecambe were terrible last season as a League 2 team, we beat Worthing quite comfortably, and Worthing could quite easily be a National League side this season, couldn't they? They missed out by the skin of their teeth, and I think there is a bit of a jump between North and South and the National League sides, as Truro, unfortunately, are finding out, but only a quarter of the way through the season. But you don't want to get cut adrift either, do you?
Yeah, I mean, again, we'll come to Craig, because obviously from a Braintree perspective and a Morecambe perspective, it wouldn't be a disaster if Truro got cut adrift a little bit for you, looking backwards that way. But yeah, Craig, how did you see this one, mate?
Yeah, no, I don't want to keep highlighting Truro here because they're in the situation. I know, can they turn that around with some home form? Obviously, Dave will be hoping it doesn't happen on Saturday, but let's just praise Brackley. It's mad that they're actually they're sitting in, I'm just going to get it up here, they're sitting in 10th place, which is a great start, but they're the 3rd highest promoted team. They've got Borehamwood sitting in 4th and Scunthorpe sitting in 5th. Like, the credit must go to all 3 of them teams. But Brackley were a team that hasn't maybe got the resources them other 2 teams have got. They haven't got the National League experience that the other 2 teams have got. It's all new to them, and they've got a fantastic manager, though, in Gavin Cowan, and there's no surprise that he was one of the names mentioned to Eastleigh as a potential suitor for there. And the way he's going is fantastic for Brackley, but there's got to be that air of cautiousness that someone else might come knocking on the door for him at some stage, because he's doing a fantastic job, and long may it continue for them. And yeah, the longer they can just keep cracking away with these clean sheets. We always talk about good attackers, but if you have a solid defence, you're not going to go far wrong, and that seems to be the case on there. They've been excellent, and for them, long may it continue.
Yeah, definitely. You're not going to lose many games, especially at home, if you're keeping clean sheets all the time. So, yeah, massive credit to them. That's our deep dive over with. Mark, the floor is yours. You've got your 6 in 6 minutes. Fire away, mate.
All right, this might not take long. I've actually written down here on my research for the Rochdale game, 4-1, and I've written down the wrong team. Somebody enlighten me.
What? Who did the play?
Yeah.
Solihull Moors.
Stolly. Oh, that's a good one. Hey, evening, Callum. Yes, Rochdale 4, Solihull 1. So again, Matt Taylor has left Solihull. Time to go back to coaching, Matt, because managerial work just ain't your thing. But Rochdale, they had, I'm not going to call it a luxury of a game off on Saturday. From the moment the rain came down, you know, it was not going to end well for Rochdale's pitch, you know, unless you're a potato grower. But yeah, back to form. Again, we've said Rochdale, one of the teams to watch, and they proved it. Solihull. If don't keep dithering over a new manager, get one in, because you're going to need it if you don't want to get marooned in that bottom 4. Oh boy, I've not looked forward to this one. Boston 2, Braintree 0. Graham Coughlin gets a win. They've not had many, but they've managed to get 3 points, get a clean sheet. Braintree, did you say 7 or 8 injuries, Craig?
Yeah, we had a Kinde back and Thorpe was on the bench, but we're still struggling with quite a few at the moment, yes.
Yeah, I think the powers that be at Braintree need to explore the loan markets just to plug those gaps. Otherwise, it's going to be a very, very long season for Braintree. Through no fault of their own, injuries happen, but when you get 7 or 8, it does look like a mountain to climb. Gateshead 0, Hartlepool 1. Been looking at this on Twitter, where I think Hartlepool fans would have preferred Larry Grayson in charge, but they've managed to plug the gap. Now they've come off a pretty horrendous run, and yeah, a 1-0 win. Gateshead, they can come back from that, but again, another team that don't want to leave it too late. And then I've got 2 draws. How exciting. Tamworth Wealdstone 1 each. Congratulations to our mate Jas Singh on his 300th appearance. 1 each. Everybody said it was a fair result, so we're going to go with that. Then you got Woking versus Sutton. And predictably, I mean, they tried to make it exciting with a penalty miss, but they couldn't even manage that. 1 each. And I think I haven't done Scunthorpe. No, I haven't, because that was another draw as well. That was another 1-1 draw. Scunthorpe, still one of my tips to make the playoffs. And again, everybody said it was a fair result. And yeah, Danny Whitehall was missing for Scunthorpe. So, but yeah, fair result. But yeah, game of the day, the Dry Toast Derby.
Yeah, nicely done, mate. Nicely done. And obviously, that's the game's covered. So we're going to go into our predictions now. This is where Craig, our stat man and the man with the points and the scores, comes into play. But I've got a feeling he's not very happy with his predictions in midweek.
Yeah, you call me with man with the points, mate, but I didn't get hardly any in midweek. So you got most of them, mate, to be fair. Yeah, so this week, Dan got 3 perfect scores. I believe they were all on the Tuesday. He had Forest Green to win 2-1, Brackley to win 1-0, and the game that Mark's just mentioned, Woking Sutton to finish 1-1. The guests came in second place with 18 points. They got 2 perfect results in there as well. Mark did grab a perfect result. Can you remember which game that was from, Mark? Sorry.
Oh no, I'm old. How am I supposed to know?
And yeah, I got limited points. I got 6 points. So it was 19 to Dan, 18 to the guest, 15 to Mark, and 6 to me, which means Dan does leapfrog me into second place, which isn't a massive surprise considering the gaps in totals. And I'm falling into Mark's clutches a little bit here as well. So the guests have got 178. Dan's got 165. I've got 147, and Mark has 123.
Yeah, I mean,
Nothing to be proud of.
Yeah, like I say, it's still not a good look for us that the guests are top of this. So, Dave, again, like I tell every guest, if you want to have an absolute nightmare this week, feel free. Let us catch you up a little bit. But yeah, we'll go into it. So, first game, which is the early kickoff, which is Boreham Wood against Woking. Dave, what's your prediction for this one, mate?
We're going to go Boreham Wood 3, Woking 0.
Yeah, Mark.
Yep, Boreham Wood was who Scunthorpe played, so a good point in midweek, 3 points, and it's going to be a 3-0 win.
Yeah, I've got 2-0 Boreham Wood. I think it'll be comfortable, but maybe not 3, maybe just 2. Craig?
Thought we were on for a clean sweep then, because I've gone 3-0 Boreham Wood as well.
Oh, well, let's hope it's 2-0 then. Let's hope it's 2-0.
For that to be
oh, well, that's that down the... welcome back.
Next, we've got Braintree Gateshead. Craig, I'll come to you first for this one. What you got for this one?
I'm keeping the faith, Dan. I'm keeping the faith. 2-0 Braintree.
Nice. I'm going to also echo your thoughts, similar, and I've gone 2-1 Braintree. Mark?
Oh, no. Weirdly, I'm going to go 1-0 Braintree.
And Dave?
Yeah, 1-0 Braintree as well.
Oh, We've all gone for a Braintree win. We've all gone for a Braintree win, so we know what that means.
Come on. No pressure there, Craig. No pressure at all.
Next, we've got again, not me being biased, but one of the standout games of the weekend, Carlisle Rochdale. I'll go first on this one. I've got a 2-2 draw in this one.
Good old Desmond makes a visit.
Yeah, Desmond always makes an appearance on the pod. He's probably been on here more than us. Craig, what have you got for this one?
I feel like I've maybe gone a little bit rogue on this one, but we talked about bounce back ability, and I'm backing you boys. Then I'm gone 2-0 Carlisle.
I hope so. I hope so. Dave, what have you got for this one?
I've gone Carlisle 2, Rochdale 1.
Oh, nice. I'm liking this positivity, guys. Mark?
Well, you're going to hate me, but that's what I'm here for. 2-0 Rochdale.
Yeah, I had a feeling with the pause that you've done, I was like, yeah, he's going to predict the Rochdale win. That's fine, mate. That's fine. We've got a bit of variety there.
Took both teams to win and a draw in that one, so a nice bit of variety.
Bit of variety, so it means someone's going to get some points over somebody. Next, we've got Halifax Aldershot. Halifax Aldershot. Mark, what have you got for this one?
Oh boy, howdy! I'm going to go 2-2 with this, purely because the fact that Aldershot have got a goal in him, but they sure as hell can't keep the goals out. So 2-2.
Yeah, I've got 3-1 Halifax. Craig?
I've gone the other way. I just don't know what to get out of this game. This game could go literally either way. There could be hundreds of goals in this one. I've gone with Mark for the 2-2, but then Aldershot nick it with a late winner, 3-2 Aldershot.
It could be an eventful game, as it always is with Aldershot.
Both
Dave,
teams don't know what you're going to
get. Dave, what have you got for this one, mate?
I've gone Halifax 3, Aldershot 1.
Yeah, I just think, like I mentioned earlier, Halifax seem to have steadied the ship and really built a bit of momentum, so I've gone with sticking with that. Next, we've got Hartlepool Tamworth. Dave, I'll come back to you first, mate, for this one. What have you got for this?
I've gone a 1-1 draw on this one.
Yeah, I mean, that's a solid choice. I've gone 1-0 Hartlepool. I know Tamworth are on a good run, but I just think maybe bit of a trip. Mark?
1-1.
Mm.
Definitely 1-1. They seem to like a 1-1 at the moment.
Craig?
I've gone with you, Dan, but I've actually got them getting 2 goals. I've gone 2-0 Hartlepool. Tamworth have been brilliant, but maybe the extensive, rigorous schedule that they've had to go through as a part-time team, this might be the one that's just a step too far.
Yeah, I thought similar, yeah, mate. Solihull Moors Brackley next. I'll go first just so it doesn't look like I'm copying answers. I've gone for 1-1 in this. I can make a case for either team, but I think Brackley is stronger at home, so I've gone 1-1. Craig, what have you got for this one?
I've backed Callum's boys. I've backed Solihull on this one. I think they've got to start somewhere at home, and they're obviously got that result against York last weekend. Midweek, not so great for them, but can they make that place a little bit of a fortress for them? And Brackley haven't travelled as well as they planned. I'm still travelled pretty well, but I'm just gonna edge this one to Solihull 2-1.
Yeah, Mark.
I think Brackley are going to be buoyed by the fact that Gavin Cowan didn't go to Eastleigh, and they want to keep up the good momentum. So 2-1 Brackley.
Nice, Dave.
I've gone the opposite way, actually, Mark. I've gone 2-1 to Solihull.
Again, variety there. That's good. That's good for the guesses. Next, we've got Southend versus Scunthorpe, which could be another absolute cracker. Dave, what have you got for this one, mate?
I think Southend to win this one. I've gone Southend 2, Scunthorpe 1.
Oh, nice. Craig?
Nothing more to add. Exactly the same. 2-1 Southend.
I've gone for 2-2. I've gone Desmond again in this one. Can see there being goals. Scunthorpe are obviously tough to beat. Mark?
You're going to get another 2-1 to Scunthorpe.
Again, variety. I'm liking this, guys. I'm liking this.
This is going to be a big points thing this week.
Yeah, I'm liking this. Next, we've got Sutton, Boston. Dave, what have you got for this one, mate?
I think Sutton are in the mud a bit, to be honest. I think, Boston haven't had a great season themselves, really, compared to what they'd want it to be. But I still think Boston are going to nick it. We'll go 2-0 Boston.
Mark, what have you got for this one, mate?
Oh, we've got a game for the ages here, 0-0.
There it is.
We wondered when 0-0 was going to be dropped in. Craig, what have you got for this one, mate?
I couldn't let you down. I couldn't let you down, I'm afraid. I couldn't let you down.
Let's add some more variety in it. I've gone for a Sutton win here. Home team 2-1.
Yeah, same as Craig.
must be
I've gone
crazy.
2-1 Sutton. I've gone 2-1 Sutton as well. Again, Sutton's got to turn it around at some point.
You've changed over the last 3 weeks, you two. You've changed.
We've always been big fans of Sutton, mate. You know that.
Next, we've got Truro versus Morecambe. Makes sense to come to Dave first for this one.
boy.
I've got a feeling I know where you're going to go with this.
I'm going to say we're going to be electric in the final third, and we're finally going to get our first clean sheet of the season as well. Statement performance: Truro 0, Morecambe 4.
Wowzers!
Wow, could happen. Mark, your boys, Truro. What have you got for this one, mate?
I tell you, there's an on-fire Jack Nolan to contend with, and I'm so sorry, Truro, but I've got to go 2-0 Morecambe.
Craig?
Yeah, so I did these predictions last night after about 10:30, and I've gone 3-1 Truro, and I don't know for the life of me why I have, but that's what I've gone for, so I'm sticking with it.
Hey, could happen.
Maybe I was talking to Mark too much last night.
Dave's gone. Dave's gone. Thanks, Dave. I've gone 2-0 Morecambe as well, by the way.
I don't know for the life of me while I've done it, but maybe I've just got Mark's optimism. Maybe it's jumped my way. I've gone 3-1 Truro. Come on, the boys.
Well, you know what? Well, do you know what I thought you were going to say, Craig? When you said I made these predictions after, I thought you were going to say 4 beers, and it sounds like you did.
Yeah. Next, we've got Wealdstone versus Eastleigh. Mark, what have we got for this one?
Wealdstone. Eastleigh will be out to impress the new manager, the new director of football. Can the combination work? I think it can, but only just. 1-0 Eastleigh.
Yeah, I've gone 2-1 Eastleigh. New manager bounce, like we've mentioned. Craig?
I've gone 2-2. I've got my Desmond in. Got to get a Desmond in every time.
Yeah. Dave?
I've gone 1-1. Not quite a Desmond. Half a Desmond.
Half a Desmond. And then next we've got Yeovil, Altrincham. I'll go first, like I say, just to make sure I'm not copying answers or anything. I've gone 2-0 Yeovil. I think they're going to be bouncing after that win at Aldershot. And I think they win again. Craig?
I have gone... What did you guys... Sorry, Dan, I was just checking something.
2-0 Yeovil.
2-0. I've gone 2-1 Yeovil.
Dave?
3-0 Yeovil.
Mark?
3-1 Yeovil.
Ooh, unanimous for Yeovil there. And then the final game, which is the late kickoff, which is Forest Green against York, which actually could be an absolute classic. Obviously, speaking to Robbie on the podcast and that, I mean, obviously they're just focusing on themselves, but I find it hard to believe they won't be having one eye on that 5-0 win for York the other night. Dave, what have you got for this one, mate?
I've gone 0-0.
Yeah, I mean, again,
cancelling each other out.
Yeah. Craig?
Yeah, I think it's important before I give my score that I highlight what Dave said yesterday about when Robbie Savage talks, you get on the bus and listen to what he says, and you get on for that ride. So after that podcast yesterday, I've backed him to win 2-1 here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm the same as you, Craig. I'm buying what Robbie's selling. I've gone 3-2 Forest Green. I think there could be some goals. really good game of football. But then I also did think maybe what Dave said could be right as well, where they might cancel each other out as well. But I'm sticking with my gut instinct. Mark?
I've said it before, I'll say it again. The irresistible force meeting the immovable object, and it's only going to end in a draw, but a high-scoring draw, 2-2. Desmond strikes again.
Desmond strikes again. So that's the predictions done. That's it from us. Like I say, we had our podcast with Robbie Savage. If you haven't watched it or listened to it, please head over. It was a really special podcast. We've enjoyed it, but make sure you watch this one as well. But also, our target that I've spoken about in September was to get to 500 subscribers. So if you haven't hit that subscribe button and like button, it helps us get more guests on and, make the podcast the best it can be. That's much appreciated as well. But thanks to Mark for joining us after a few weeks off. And thanks to Craig, as always, for joining me. And many thanks to Dave as well. Thank you for coming on, obviously in better circumstances this time.
Slightly nice. A pleasure to chat, gents. Thanks so much for the invitation.
No problem, mate, and all the best for the rest of the season for Morecambe as well. But thanks everyone. Take care.